They didn't want you to know this. Federal agents just raided the home of the man who firebombed Jewish protesters in Boulder, Colorado. And what they found is sending Democrats into full-blown damage control. Molotov cocktails, a flamethrower, but what they also found wasn't a weapon, but it may be the worst thing of all. Please like, comment, and share Explain America, because we're really trying to get the word out on common sense journalism. Here's what they're hiding. The attacker was 45-year-old foreign national Mohammed Solomon, an illegal alien who overstayed his visa. He launched a violent terror-style assault in broad daylight at a Jewish event with homemade bombs and a makeshift flamethrower. Now, he caused 8 innocent people to become victims, all while yelling "Free Palestine" and setting people on fire. Afterwards, the FBI searched Solomon's home and vehicle and found something else. USAID paperwork. That's right. He had documentation linking him to a U.S. federal agency, the same one Democrats love to fund as part of their global humanitarian agenda. And that's just the beginning. Solomon had 14 Molotov cocktails ready. He explicitly told police he wanted to kill all Zionist people. He wasn't mentally ill or randomly violent. He was targeting Jews on U.S. soil. But he was protected by Boulder's sanctuary city laws, which stopped ICE from deporting him years ago. Let's be clear. This attack could have been prevented in a sane country with normal enforcement of immigration law. But liberal sanctuary policies, or lawless policies, shielded Solomon from removal and left Americans vulnerable to a foreign terrorist in their own community. Meanwhile, MSNBC falsely described the suspect as a white male before all the facts were known. Look at this.
As far as the investigation itself, we're still trying to verify and confirm some video, but it appears to show a significant portion of the incident as it happened. There's an individual that's taken into custody. He's a white male. Whether or not that's the person that police ultimately arrested and will ultimately charge in this crime, a bit of a question at this time, but that's just what we've seen so far.
And Boulder's own police chief refused to acknowledge this was a hate-driven act of terror, even as Jews were burned alive. So where's the outrage? Where's the nonstop media coverage we've seen in other hate crimes? And this has been charged as a hate crime, regardless of what you might think about that designation. So where are the experts blaming dangerous rhetoric for inciting violence? Nowhere, because this case destroys their narrative. The truth is, the Democrats enabled this. They harbored a terrorist, and now they're trying to spin and suppress the fallout. American people have had enough of this. They want law enforcement, they want safety, they want security, they want the protection. Solomon should have never been here. He dragged his Middle Eastern animosity towards Israel and his hatred of Jews to the United States. Why was he led into the country to begin with? Why aren't we vetting people who come here, who bring their internecine strife and their hatred and their ancient grievances to the United States and our people? Do we want to balkanize the country? Do we really want to have the type of Middle Eastern conflict in the United States, in our states? Why is Colorado harboring them? Why are 600 counties and cities harboring illegal aliens that could be just as dangerous as Mohammed Solomon? It's a good question, because anybody who comes into the country illegally and isn't vetted could be like Mohammed Solomon. That's the point of having immigration law. That's why you ask permission to come into the country before you come here. We need to know who you are, what your motives are, if you're loyal to the United States of America, and if you're potentially going to commit an act of terrorism. This seems very reasonable to me, given that they're tracking pretty much everything that we do in the United States. We have real ID to fly in airplanes. We have, a contract with Palantir to identify people who are American and could be illegal aliens, and a lot more other information that could be useful to law enforcement, surely, but it brings up some pretty serious Fifth Amendment privacy concerns. So why are all these things being applied to American citizens, but they're not being applied to foreign nationals and illegal aliens like Mohammed Solomon? I think these are pretty standard and reasonable questions to ask. But the Democratic Party can't give us answers. The uniparty Republicans, who are secretly in the open borders camp because it benefits corporations, among other things, they don't really care, it seems, because this mass deportation, it's at least over 140,000, and they just had one of the biggest busts of 1,500 illegals. But, we're talking about 15 million at least that came in under the Biden administration. And Solomon was one of them. It's highly disturbing. And it's almost like Democrats, they want this type of chaos in our streets. They want to overturn the United States order. They want to threaten safety and security, or at the very least don't care about our safety and security. And they don't take it seriously. And they keep putting Soros prosecutors in these cities who let dangerous criminals off the hook. And they go out and reoffend sometimes. Some of them are illegal aliens. It's all a bit much, and we need to have a serious revitalization of law and order in the United States. And that's going to take concerted action. It's going to take a lot of effort, and it's probably not going to take more than the Trump administration to do it. So start thinking ahead, because think about the Republicans that you think should be primaried, because they're like in Texas, for example, there might be certain senators who need to be primaried, or even the governor who's been lackluster, to say the least. And there are other border states that need house cleaning. So let's look forward to that and take action, and donate directly to good candidates. Don't bother with Republican National Committee. Don't bother with the Republican version of Maxine Waters' campaign, because you don't know. They could be spending thousands of dollars to advisors who aren't worth a lick. They don't care about winning. They get paid either way, right? So we need to be our own advisors. We need to talk to each other. So please like, share, comment at Explain America. Give us your comments. Who do you think are good candidates? Thank you. This has been Kyle Becker with Explain America.